Today I'm going to be making my hamburger and sausage creamy casserole. Hi, my name's Tom and this is my carnivore life. So this recipe is a really good recipe for lunches. You can do for dinner too, but I find that it works really well for lunches. You just mix it all up and you can portion it out into your glass bowls. It does well in microwaves. It tastes just as good warmed up as it does fresh. So let's get right into it. So this recipe only uses a few ingredients. You're going to need some bulk sausage, hamburger, about a half a cup to 3/4 cups of cheddar cheese. I prefer sharp cheddar because I think it adds more flavor, but you can use whatever you want. 2/3 cup of heavy whipping cream, some grass-fed butter, pepper, and garlic powder. Now in addition to those ingredients, you're going to want to add 4 eggs whisked to it. You can I use large eggs, they're pastured eggs. Whatever eggs that you have access to will work just fine. So first thing we want to do is get our temperature set up to medium and let our skillet warm up. We want it nice and hot before we put our meat in there. That allows it to brown fairly quickly. So we're just going to take our bulk hamburger and our bulk sausage and get those browned up. Once your hamburger and sausage is done cooking, you're going to take your 4 eggs that you whisked and just pour them into the meat. And we're going to let the eggs cook up before we get started on our sauce. Now we're going to take our 8 meat mixture and set it aside so we can make our sauce. For your sauce, you're going to need a medium pan. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to let that melt. We're going to add in, while it's melting, we're going to add in a little bit of pepper. And I just kind of shake some in there. I don't really measure it. Same with the garlic powder. This is just for flavoring. And if you don't like spices or can't use them, then you can omit these out of the recipe. That's fine. So we're just going to wait for that butter to melt. Once our butter melts, we're going to add in our cream. You can see our butter melting nicely. We're almost there. Okay. So now what we're going to do is add our cream in. And we want to let our cream kind of come to a slight boil. And you want to continually stir this so that you don't scorch the cream. It also helps the butter kind of incorporate into the cream. And it shouldn't take too long to get to that boil with such a small pan. And we're almost there. We're starting to see a little bit of simmering around the edge. And that looks pretty good. You just want to see very light boil on that, as you can see there. Just around the edges, just enough to make sure it's hot. And we're going to go ahead and incorporate our cheese into this. And we want to stir that until all the cheese is melted. It should give us not a super thick sauce, but a thicker consistency. And if you like really thick sauce, you can add more cheddar. If you like a thinner sauce, then you can obviously use less cheddar. I kind of like mine medium a little bit, not too thick, but not really thin either. All right, so our sauce is made. You can see what it looks like there. So we're going to take that off, turn the heat off. We're going to remove that from the stovetop. Then we're going to grab our hamburger and meat mixture with our eggs in it. And all we're going to do is pour our cheese sauce into it. Stir that up real good. Now obviously if dairy is not in your wheelhouse, then this probably isn't going to be of any interest to you. But for those of you that can, this is a really good meal. It's high in protein, high in fat, has plenty of flavor, and it will keep you satiated for quite a while. And there you have it. Wonderful meal. Takes about 15 minutes to make. It's delicious, packed with nutrients, protein, and fats, and it will keep you satisfied for quite a while. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about this recipe if you've tried it, or maybe you can recommend a recipe for me to put on my channel. As always, have a nice day and thanks for watching.